Go.
Do you know what the number one potential life killer in the world is? Well, this may surprise some of you, but the number one potential life killer in the world is global warming. And second to that is the asteroid. The sad part about this is that we are doing everything we can to try and stop a major asteroid from hitting Earth, but we're not doing much to stop what we're doing to ourselves by polluting the Earth and causing global warming. Now, there has been a debate for some time about whether or not global warming is real, but I'm here to tell you that global warming is in fact real, and we need to do something to stop it. Now, I've done research on global warming for over the past couple of years, and being a concerned human being much like you guys, I would like to share some of my knowledge. With that, today I would like to talk about evidence of proof of global warming and just how bad it is, and then I will go on to explain what actions we can take to combat global warming and how these changes in preventing global warming as a whole will help save Earth. There are many reasons to believe that global warming is real. There is evidence of changes in the Earth. According to Rinkesh in his article titled, "Is Global Warming Real?" published in 2014, there has been evidence of a rise in sea level, a rise in Earth's average temperature, a rise in ocean temperature, and ocean acidification. First, with a rise in sea level, in the past decade, the global mean sea levels have doubled, and the global sea levels have risen about 6.7 inches in the last century. Next, there has been a rise in Earth's average temperature over the last century and a half. Tracking global atmospheric temperatures since the 1800s, scientists point to a steady rise with a stronger period in the 70s, a lull in the 90s, and a return to the rising pattern of the temperature increasing in the 2000s. Next, with the rise in ocean temperature, there's over 50 years of documented temperature records for the oceans that have recorded a steady rise in its temperature since 1969. And finally, with ocean acidification, this is mainly due to the emission of more harmful gases in the atmosphere, and of course this would result in more toxic ocean and seawater. Next, there's also evidence that global warming is affecting human beings. According to Melissa Denchak, in her article titled, "Are the Effects of Global Warming Really That Bad?" published in 2016, higher temperatures are worsening many types of disasters, including storms, heat waves, floods, and droughts. Each year from 1980 to 2015 in the US averaged $5.2 billion in disasters, and many people are dying as a result of temperature change. In the US, hundreds of heat-related deaths occur each year due to direct and indirect effects of heat-exacerbated illnesses. And extreme heat kills more Americans each year on average than hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, and lightning combined. Now, there is also evidence that global warming is affecting animals. A 2015 study showed that vertebrate species are disappearing 114 times faster than they should be, a phenomenon linked to climate change, pollution, and deforestation. And a change in climate is also affecting animals that live in colder temperatures, such as polar bears, because the Arctic ice is rapidly disappearing due to global warming. And I know these effects may sound bad, but thankfully there are easy solutions to these problems. One thing that we can do is to drive less and find other means of transportation. Cutting down consumption of oil and gasoline is a huge step to reducing wastes. And reducing wastes is important as it would prevent the release of toxic gases in the atmosphere, which would help in preventing global warming. Another thing that we can do is to reuse and recycle items that we use in our daily lives, such as paper, food cans, electronic devices, etc., etc. And reusing and recycling is also important as it takes far less energy than to produce items from scratch. And using less energy will release less carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And a final item that I would like to mention is conserving water, which is also would be important because it takes energy to draw and filter water from underground. So we would also be saving energy in this way. Now, these solutions have been scientifically proven to reduce the chances of global warming. According to Californians Against Waste, ton for ton, zero waste strategies such as waste prevention, reusing, and recycling reduce more pollution, save more energy, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions more than any other activity. And it is actually the releasing greenhouse gases that traps heat in the atmosphere and causes the increase in temperature, directly resulting in global warming. Furthermore, according to Margaret Gaynor in her article titled "Landfills Contribute to Global Warming," published in 2013, waste prevention is the most effective method of reducing greenhouse gas emissions because it eliminates the extraction of unnecessary resources for products. And also, collecting, transporting, and processing discarded materials for recycling has a net reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. Replacing raw material with recycled feedstock in the manufacturing of new goods dramatically reduces the energy and related emissions associated with the raw material extraction processes. Now that I have mentioned some ways to stop global warming, I would like to now explain why preventing global warming will make our world a better and safer place to live in. First, preventing global warming will reduce rising sea and ocean levels. According to the National Wildlife Federation, if the Earth's climate warms by 2 or 3 more degrees by 2100, global sea level will rise 3 feet, displacing almost 56 billion people around the world. So if we are able to prevent global warming, we will be able to at least curtail the extent to which sea and ocean levels are rising. So, next, stopping global warming would also benefit our daily lives. Stability in climate will directly create a greater stability in food production. A recent study published by Stanford University in 2011 showed that the global wheat production decreased by 5.5% as a result of an unstable climate, and world corn production was down by nearly 4%. The EPA also reports that an additional increase of 3.6 degrees in the global temperature could decrease production of American corn by 10 to 30%. And this reduction in corn production mainly has to do with factors such as a drought or the temperature being too hot for crops to survive. So as you can see, if we were able to sustain a steadier climate, our production of certain crops and foods would also be more dependable. Next, preventing global warming and a direct increased temperature can also maintain our supply of fresh water. About 18% of the world's fresh water is found in the Great Lakes, and as the climate continues to grow, it gets warmer, the lake levels are expected to drop. For example, Lake Superior, the largest Great Lake, is 4.5 degrees warmer than it was in 1980, and water levels in all of the Great Lakes have declined since 1986. Next, chances of wildfires can also be significantly reduced if we sustain a greater control of temperature. The EPA predicts that if the Earth warms another 3.6 degrees, wildfires in the western United States will burn 4 times more land than they currently do. So preventing global warming may not completely eliminate wildfires, but the chances of wildfires will be significantly less when the temperature doesn't increase as much. And finally, by preventing global warming, we will also reduce ocean acidification and protect animals as well. By releasing fewer toxins and other harmful substances, the ocean water composition will be less harmful, thus creating safer water, and will protect fish and other underwater animals as well. And a more stable climate will also help protect land animals, as a more stable climate will create a more stable habitat for those animals to live in. So as you can see, a world without global warming means reducing ocean levels, as well as a cleaner water, a greater supply of fresh water, greater food production, a less chance of wildfires, and a greater protection of animals. Now, I think I speak for most when I say that I would prefer a world like this. Now, today I have explained why global warming is so bad and what we can do to prevent it, and why this is better for Earth as a whole. Mike Huckabee once said, "The most important thing about global warming is this: whether humans are responsible for this planet, for the bulk of climate change, is going to be left to the scientists. But it is all of our responsibility to leave this planet in a better shape for the future of generations than we found it." And I agree with this quote. We must take action not just for ourselves, but more importantly for our children and grandchildren, so that they can live in a cleaner and safer environment. And I will leave you with this: if you truly care about what I have said today, you will follow the steps that I have detailed, as well as spreading the word about educating others about global warming, and hopefully together we can stop this massive threat to our Earth as we know it.